What's happening, everyone? My name is Adrian and welcome back to What the Pun. Today, as you can see, I am out on location and we are at the What the Pun secret test location once again. So today I'm going to be trying to answer a very vital, very important question that's probably running on a lot of VW fans or someone that's actually out there trying to look for a hot hatch, maybe. So hypothetically, let's just say you're out there trying to look for a hot hatch for about £15,000 and you're looking at a Golf. What do you get? So in this scenario, what I found, for £15,000 you can get two very decent options. And what are they? One being a Mark 7 Golf GTI for around £15,000. You should find some decent examples. The other option just so happens to be a Mark 6 Golf R as well. So to help me with today's question, comparison, shall we say, I have brought along a friend to help us out. So let me introduce you to Jude. Welcome to What the Pun. Thank you very much for coming on the channel and just sharing your time with us today.
I appreciate you having me today. I'm looking forward to it 100%. Yeah.
So before we get down to just comparing the cars straight away, we're just going to quickly go over some numbers on both cars. The cars, just to let you let you all know, the cars are stock. Apart from a few tiny modifications and tweaks here and there, the cars are legitimately stock in terms of the power and performance that came out from the factory or given its age. So I think you've done a few things to your cars. Would you mind caring to share what you've done?
I've got a racing line induction kit in there. So that's just a little bit more noise, a little bit more intake noise.
Breathes a little bit better.
Yeah. So they claim it gives 10 to 15 more horsepower, but that's not really going to be anything, I don't think. But yeah, other than that, spacers, because they're needed on these alloys because they're so far tucked in. And just some cosmetic gloss back bits. That's it, really. Nothing too crazy.
Cool. And in terms of mine, same thing. Racing line air intake system, APR core packs. Just because the stock ones, they're not very reliable, so I thought I needed to get them changed, so I might as well just go for something a bit stronger. Forged motorsport silicone hoses. Not going to make much of a difference apart from the car just breathing a little bit better as well. GFP diverter valve, and that's about it. But yeah, performance on both cars stock, not been tuned. So yours, let's start with yours. 2018 Golf GTI, Mark 7.5, 2-litre turbo engine at the front, which should be the Gen 3 EA AAA engine. Horsepower wise, we are looking at 242 brake horsepower with 370
maybe
meters.
one day 700 newton meters. One day.
370 newton meters of torque. 0 to 60 time of 6.2 seconds, and front wheel drive, and weighing in at just under 1,400 kilos. So my Golf R, 2010 Golf R. Let me check my notes. I should know this off by heart, to be fair. So yeah, 2010 Golf R, also 2-litre engine at the front, but instead of the EA 888, mine has the EA 113, which is pretty much, it's the same engine as the Mark 5, the famous Mark 5 Golf GTI, but it's just a newer, slightly improved, tuned a bit better engine, maybe a bit more reliable as well. In terms of horsepower, we're looking at 266 brake horsepower and 350 newton meters of torque, so slightly less than yours. 0 to 60 time, slightly better than yours. I'm looking at about, originally it should be about 5.7 seconds. And not front wheel drive, 4Motion Howdeck system, which is Volkswagen's four-wheel drive system, and in terms of the weight, it is weighing in at just over 1,500 kilograms, so a bit heavier than your car as well. So numbers are quite similar. Drivings, I would expect both to handle differently. So one being four-wheel drive, one being front-wheel drive.
And that's going to be the biggest comparison, is the four-wheel drive compared to the front-wheel drive, and how it drives, whether you want something that's going to always grip, or you want that little bit of loose at the front end and chuck it into corners, depending on what you want. Everyone wants their different requirements.
I'm actually very curious what the power to weight ratio is, because my car, being a fair bit heavier than yours, has a little bit more power than yours. How that compares to the power to weight ratio to yours, because yours being quite a fair bit lighter, not as much horsepower, but not by that much of a difference. So I'm probably going to update the comment box down below with the figures in terms of the power to weight ratio. I should have done it for today's video, but that didn't cross my mind until just now. But we'll see. I reckon yours has probably a slightly better power to weight ratio, just because it's lighter.
One thing I can definitely say with the front, because of the weight, when this car's rolling, like, it does keep up with a lot of cars that are, let's say, around 300 brake. Like, it does keep up with them. So yeah, I think that's the benefit of just having that front wheel drive. It's just on the roll, it really does pick up speed.
Okay, so try to get started, Jude. So we'll have a bit of a look around both cars, and then we'll go for a bit of a drive in each car, and then we'll come back, reconsolidate, and so we'll go through like what our thoughts are on both cars. Cool. Okay, so before we get into details about your car, I guess, why not let's just start off with your story behind this Golf GTI. So when did it happen? How did it happen? Basically, what's the story behind how you ended up deciding that you want a Golf GTI?
So yeah, like before, so when it comes to the actual this Golf GTI here, I've always loved golf. So ever since I've known you, we just talk about golfs. That's our conversations. But when it came to this car, I was going to buy a 1 Series of my friend, but at the time it wasn't the right time. It was just, I spoke to my parents, who obviously I've got to run everything through because I still live under their roof, so everything's got to go through them. I spoke to them and they were like, you know what, if you give it another year, you can go and buy yourself a Golf. So yeah, I've done that, and here we are today. I looked for a Golf GTI. I looked at quite a few, so many, and it got to a point where I found this one that popped up fairly local. This was in Buntingford, at a Volkswagen dealer. And you just, when I first saw it, you play the card of, oh yeah, it's nice, just to try and get some money off and everything. But when I saw that car, I fell in love. I loved it. Like, I was like, this is what I've been dreaming about for so long. Like, this was everything I wanted, and thankfully I got it. I purchased it, and ever since then I've loved every single moment of it. Like,
and for a car, it ticks all the boxes, because it's practical, good on storage, it's good to drive every day.
Yeah, it's just you can ask so much from it as well, and still be kind of within the limits. Like, it's not too fast where you put your foot down, you're like, oh my god, what speed am I doing? Like, which can be experienced in some cars. And I just love this, the way it just goes around the back roads as well. Like, this car just feels so sharp. Like, I've driven a Golf R, like the Mark 7.5 Golf R. Like, that car is rapid off the line and everything, but just through the corners, this just feels a little bit more kind of fine-tuned.
It's front-wheel drive, and I feel like it's more fun to handle.
Yeah.
Whereas the Golf R, it's heavier.
Yeah.
The turning doesn't feel as nimble as yours. So yeah, it's definitely much more fun driving experience.
It's just more fun driving experience, but definitely there's no doubt about it. Anyone that tries and tells you a Golf R isn't generally a better car, they're lying to you, because the Golf R just every day is an unbeatable car.
Oh yeah.
Like just all-wheel drive, the right amount of power. Just as well as that, just the looks as well is nice of it. I do prefer the red accents on the GTI. That's why I do really like the little red accents.
It's part of the GTI heritage, basically.
100%. And one thing I've always wanted is the tartan seats.
Oh yeah. Standard
gotta have
equipment for GTI.
Yeah, I get why people do get leather, but I'm just a tartan seat guy. I just think that's what you're buying the GTI for.
How long have you had this car now?
So I've had it coming up to 12 months now.
12 months.
In 2 weeks' time, it'll be it's 1 year anniversary.
Okay.
So yeah, it's been basically a year-round ownership kind of. So yeah, with that, I've had it for a year. I've only had 2 kind of gripes with it. A water pump, which and if you look in forums, it goes at some point.
Yeah.
It's just basically it's a time bomb. It's when is it gonna go? And it just went. Thankfully under warranty, so that was sorted. And then from there, I had a couple months ago, I had a leaking front left shock absorber.
Okay.
Which, yeah, that's a bit frustrating, but I got that sorted as well. So, but other than that, the car's been sound, and I've done in 12 months, just coming up to 12 months, 12,000 miles.
Okay.
Where in my previous car I had that for 2 years, and I've done 4,000 or 5,000 miles in 2 years. So that's a testament to how much I love
I
this.
I know you definitely love this car so much, because I know how many trips you've made in this car.
Yeah.
Where you've been as well with the car as well. So definitely, like, I think you enjoy the driving experience of it so much that you take it places, basically.
Yeah, 100%. And it's one of those things where you kind of, as much as I want to baby it, because I do love this car, like I enjoy it. Like I've done multiple caffeine and machine runs in this. I've done recently, a couple months back, a Welsh trip around Snowdonia. That was phenomenal. Like 100%. I'd recommend anyone to do that.
I'm still yet to go to that part of Wales. To be fair.
We'll do it. We'll 100% do it.
100%.
We'll get a little group going.
A little golf convoy.
Yeah, a little
golfs only.
Golfs only. Yeah, we don't want.
You know who I'm talking about. Golfs only.
Don't want no one else around here. Only Volkswagen strictly.
Oh, maybe a Honda Type S. Yeah.
Yeah. With a bad boy exhaust.
But yeah, so not too many issues, but you've only had it 12 months, and
12 months, and I've done 12,000 miles in it, and it's been the majority's kind of been city driving, so it's not like motorway miles. So I guess 12,000 miles is around the city. Kind of you're asking quite a bit from the car in 12 months, really. So, but yeah, I'm overall pleased with it. To be honest, like when I look at, we're always on Autotrader. We're always looking at the next best thing, but in reality, there's nothing that can kind of beat this at this point.
Oh no.
At my point, as well as insurance-wise, I can't get insured in a car that I think can beat this.
Definitely. So, which brings me to my next point. So, like, what are the kind of things you would want to improve on this car to make it perfect for you? Like the perfect Golf GTI. What would you like? Your perfect daily Golf GTI. What would you want to improve on this particular car for yourself?
So,
or for other people?
I think
that's watching.
I'll put it down to 3 things. Like, first of all, tyres. Like whether yours comes with P0s, switch them out. I think you've got a good car if it's coming with Michelin's or Goodyears, because you don't have to then spend the money on the tyres.
And whoever's owned it before,
you know they kind of
what
they're doing. Yeah, 100%. And they spent good money on the car, which knows maintenance is being done fairly properly.
Well, you hope so.
Yeah, 100%. You want to with these cars, 100%. So yeah, tyres first thing. Second thing, I think stage one.
I hate when people spray. Sorry.
Yeah, just people using their window wipers. So that will be what do you call it? So yeah, stage one. I think that'll be the next thing.
Okay.
Stage one, just to get more of that power band in the higher gears. Yeah, just when you're on the motorway, that little bit more pull throughout the whole rev range. That would be great. And then the third thing, just to counter that, just upgrade the actual discs to Class Sport S discs.
Okay.
So with that, make those drilled, and they're a little bit bigger as well, the discs. So yeah, get those done, and that's literally all you need to do. Otherwise, yeah, you got the perfect car there. Perfect little back road, B road kind of race car.
Definitely,
if you want to say it. But yeah, that's it pretty much. Those three things, and then that's what you need to do to a Golf GTI.
Okay.
Otherwise, you're going to be chucking too much money at it at that point.
I guess like what you wanted to improve on this car is pretty much covers what you dislike the most on the car, I guess.
Yeah.
Which is basically the tyres and maybe a bit more improvement on the power.
Yeah.
And well, the brakes basically. But is there anything else that really gets on your nerves on the car, I guess?
I think like I always discuss with you, like just when I have conversations, it's a pro and a con. It's just the front wheel drive. It's just the off the line. Like if it's damp or any kind of grease on the road or anything, it's just you're not going anywhere. Like you really got to baby that throttle, otherwise.
I guess because it's such a powerful car as well. Because like when you think about it, like it's relatively light car. It's just under 1,400 kilograms.
Yeah.
It's got over 240 brake going on to the front wheels, and like 375 newton meters of torque as well. It's a lot for a front wheel drive car. So that's probably also plays into how it's trying to cope as well. Well, plus it's not the best tyres. With that amount of power.
But still, even with
the convoy.
Even with improved tyres, you're still going to get that with the GTI, no matter what. Obviously, you're going to reduce that, but at the same time, it gives it its character. Like when it's like you can't fully lean on the full motion of the Golf R. Like you got to really understand that this is front wheel drive. Like if you lose control going too fast in the corner, you're going to end up in a ditch somewhere. That's the last thing you want to do. The last place you want to be.
But it's also what I miss the most about a front wheel drive car, just how fun it is to throw around.
Yeah, and it keeps your kind of attention. It kind of like you got to understand.
You're engaged in the driving experience.
Yeah.
Whereas I probably feel like when you go around in the Golf R, you probably see what I mean about how probably easy it is. I guess maybe, or how easy it is to handle that kind of performance, I guess.
Yeah, it's very
how composed it is on the road.
Yeah, it's very much. I think anyone can jump into a Golf R and drive it without feeling any kind of way like it's too powerful or anything like that. And unless you push the limits, 300 brake, all-wheel drive and a hatch. I think you need to know what you're doing, but just driving it and let's say giving it a little tickle with the throttle, trying to get out of a junk, you'll be fine with a Golf R.
I think like what this reminds me of when I did my video with Bills and his AMG A35.
Yeah.
Link for that video if you've not seen it around up here.
Yeah.
Alright. So we did a bit of a roll swap. Jude is out in the driver's seats of my Mark 6 Golf R. I'm not gonna lie, I am nervous.
That's alright, man.
Because
I'll treat it like you treated mine, man. I always respect it.
Apart from my mum, who's only driven like less than 5 times since I've owned this car.
Yeah.
You are literally the 3rd person that's driven this car.
It's an honour, man. I'll look after it. I know it's your baby.
Thank you very much. So let's
get cracking, man.
yeah, let's get going.
Yeah, I need an exhaust. Yeah, that's 100% what I need. I might need to take back.
So,
yeah.
Jude, just so you know,
Yeah.
this is nothing fancy like your one.
Yeah.
So
Got to take it out. Yeah, I've got to remember that actually, because I'm so used to it's basically just go and just drive.
yeah,
Now I've actually got to do drive. This is actually going to test my driving skills.
I don't have all these fancy gadgets like your car does.
Sometimes it's better. It's better to just to have that engagement. Because yeah, I definitely rely on the car probably too much. Where we?
Straight ahead, follow that
Straight ahead,
BMW.
mate. Yeah, I can already feel when you're literally just from a slow launch. It just goes.
Yeah. I mean, I do have good years.
Yeah. Good. Yeah, you got proper tyres, mate.
Oh, what do we have here? I mean, how does it feel? Like, in terms of how you feel the interior looks?
Honestly, some people are crazy on interiors. I'm not crazy on like it doesn't make or break a car for me. I'm more of how it looks on the outside and how it drives, and
Okay.
I just think this is iconic. I just love Golf interiors in general. But yeah, I like that it's minimalist. It's nothing crazy. Like everything's where it needs to be. There's no unnecessary bits.
In terms of like how you feel sitting inside, like
Yeah.
right now,
Yeah.
does it feel like, oh, you're in a Golf, or does it feel familiar or similar to how it feels for you as like yours?
It feels very, very similar actually. Like how I can definitely like feel the all-wheel drive. Like I can feel it. Like when it comes to kind of cornering, and obviously when it came out of that junction, 100%. It's a nice ride as well. Like really smooth. Yeah, like.
You're very lucky, Jude.
I know.
Because I literally just had the Howdeck serviced.
Yeah, I'm doing the bedding in process. Yeah. Yeah, like really. Yeah, honestly, it's a really nice car. Really nice.
Thank you, Jude.
And
I
it's
think
really,
it's this left here. And you just had a good test of the brakes as well.
the test, the brakes feel like the pedal feels really firm compared to mine. I don't know if you felt a difference in the actual pedal.
I thought yours was fine.
Yeah, I think this one feels way more harsher. Like if I need to come to an emergency stop, it feels like this is gonna stop like fairly much quicker than mine. Like
I think like
I don't know what it is.
This when I bought it, it's not on the standard discs.
Yeah.
I think whoever owned it before, I'm not sure what disc the Golf R originally came with, to be fair, but they're on slotted and drilled.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I saw that.
And the pads are uprated as well. I think they're Mintex. I think Mintex pads.
Yeah.
Or I could be wrong. Could be a different brand. I think it's either Mintex or some other brand. But that's probably I think why it brakes a bit better as well.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I can definitely tell the difference in performance, like when it comes to the braking. Like I feel like on this setup, if you was to put more power on it, you'd be fine. Yeah, it's really like what? How old is this car now?
2010, so it's like 13 years.
13 years. Yeah, it doesn't feel like a 13-year-old car. It feels really, it does really feel nice and sharp and tight around the corners, as well as just, yeah, you don't feel any kind of creaks or hear any kind of like, I don't know.
But that's also down to
sounds.
like the how the owner looks after the car as well. So if you're like on the market looking for one, you gotta be, you know, make sure that whatever you're looking for is well looked after.
Yeah.
Because you can spend. To be fair, like, you know, I've set the budget to about 15k because they're decent examples of a Mark 6 R or a relatively decent example of a Mark 7 GTI. So, you know, you can spend less, but they might not be very good examples. They might have those issues you're talking about, where, you know, the brakes might be a bit squeaky or so on and so forth, and might not have a very good history of how well looked after it's been.
Yeah, 100%. I think the biggest thing is when it comes to that, if you've got 15 grand to spend, you're gonna buy a 2013, 2014 GTI, and it could be fairly rough.
Yeah.
Or you could buy a Mark 6 Golf R, and it'd be a nice example. It's whether you want to sacrifice the quality of what you're buying for the age of the car and how recent it is.
So does it feel like a heavier car to you?
Yes, but not like day and night.
Okay.
I can kind of feel it. Sometimes you don't know whether it's in your head as well. You don't know in your head whether you're feeling like.
I think if I remember correctly, this is close to like 1,500 kilos, whereas yours is under 1,400.
Yeah.
It's because it's got the 4Motion Howdeck system. Then that's added a lot to the weight of the car.
Yeah. Yeah. Some of these roads are nasty.
Yes, I think this section here is mainly a bit there.
Yeah. But that's the price you have to pay for the 4Motion, which it's down to you as a driver whether you're not too bothered about the wheel spin or if that's something you enjoy. Because to be honest, I'm not really I call him like a race traffic light warrior. I don't race everyone out of the traffic lights.
Okay.
It's only when it's kind of like, it's just that little bit. I'm in a little bit of a rush. I need to get ahead of you. That's where it does get annoying for me. But I'm not really too bothered about let's go traffic lights, launch control. Nah, that's not really bit. I'd rather get on a back street and kind of enjoy it. The noise of the tone of the exhaust is really nice as well. Like it's a nice kind of rumble.
You're right here.
Yeah, right here. Yeah.
Because I didn't want it over. I still want to be sensible as a daily. How does it feel turning? Does it feel heavier turning as well? Like
feels heavier, but it don't feel a crazy difference though. Like I said, like.
Gosh, this guy's been running forever.
Yes. It might be a sign for me to do a bit more running. Stop driving about everywhere. And
he's been running since we've been driving.
Yeah, that guy must be shattered. I struggle walking to my car after work and just I'm out of breath. I take a minute break then.
There's like it definitely does feel heavier compared to how your car handles. I think like on the turns on your car, I just feel it's more nimble. It's more fun to take turns in your car, I feel like, whereas mine is a bit more heavier to turn, I feel like. Yeah,
it's a little bit more heavier. I do really like the brake setup on this though.
Okay.
When I've been coming to a stop or slowing down, like I've got way more confidence in this than my one, because my one's just a complete stock setup. This one's whether it's whoever done it or whatever setup it is.
They know what they're doing.
Yeah, which is always a good thing. And when it comes to it's nice to see when someone does probably handling mods more than power mods with no.
That's
no
the
handling.
things you want to kind of do first.
Yeah.
To then kind of have the power complementing.
Yeah, and you know it's a bit more of a mature owner, like I don't know, maybe someone like me, or a little bit more, or someone immature will just, hey, what's the most power I can get on the cheap? So stage 1 or stage 2, and with no handling mods. For someone to literally have a stock car and do handling mods, you know what, like they kind of know what they're doing.
They're preparing the car for what's...
Yeah.
Jude, feel free when you're ready, because it'll be a left turn here.
Yeah.
I think the road kind of opens up a bit around here, but feel free to just slap it down. Just press the button and slap it down to S when you're ready. And you might, hopefully... Because unlike yours, where you have like different buttons, different modes, very simple here. Just push it back.
That's all you need. It's basically, in my eyes, there's 2 modes. You cruise or let's go racing mode. Like you don't need like crazy, like wet, slippery mode.
And what you'll notice is the car's revving a lot differently as well.
Oh yeah,
it suddenly adds to the responsiveness of the car.
Oh, 100%.
And you
real
get all these
smooth gear changes as well. This DSG is. I think you've got to kind of go DSG if you're having a daily. DSG 100%.
DSG daily. Yeah.
If you want a little weekend car, or if you want to take on track, manual. But I think 9 times out of 10 you're buying these cars to drive them every day.
But to be fair, for me, like when the technology's there, where it's capable of changing gears and getting gears ready for you so much quicker than you can manually,
think about it,
and takes away from you having to concentrate on changing gears on the roads. DSG, dual clutch all day for me, to be fair. The technology is there for you to help you focus on your driving experience.
I think especially it's a turbocharged hot hatch. At the end of the day, it's not a naturally aspirated Porsche. Like if you've got a naturally aspirated Porsche or a naturally aspirated V8, a manual actually will be, I think, really enjoyable experience. But at the end of the day, it's a turbocharged hatchback. Just get an automatic.
What's it saying on consumption so far?
25.4.
Oh gosh, I'm surprised.
Yeah, mate, you're doing something wrong, mate. Oh yeah, this is really nice. The exhaust makes a world of difference, especially in the cabin. And there's no drone, and it's not overpowering as well. Like
I didn't want to do too much with the exhaust.
Because you hear some exhaust systems and you're like, oh my god, you must be bored of that.
Imagine like going on long journeys on the motorway and then you have that exhaust constantly droning at you. So for me, because I have to drive this every day. Then obviously this is my exhaust setup for my daily use.
100%. Because you can go easily with Golf Rs and you can go overkill, especially with the early edition with the DSG farts and all that. Like you can go really overkill with them, or the overrun. I'm not the biggest fan of crazy overrun.
I don't need the pops and bangs.
No, I don't need that attention, thanks.
my neighbours already don't appreciate that my exhaust is a bit loud anyway.
Just trying to make friends, not enemies around here.
Okay, so we are back. Had a bit of a look around both cars. Bit of a drive on both. So yeah, I enjoyed driving your Golf, Jude. Thank you very much for trusting me with your Golf.
Thank you likewise as well. Really enjoyed to see what a Mark 6 Golf R's it's like to drive. I've never driven a Mark 6 before.
Okay.
So yeah, it was really interesting actually. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, but it's really made me kind of remember how fun a front-wheel drive Volkswagen Golf is like to drive. I've owned my first Golf was actually a V5, a Mark 4 V5. It was 170 brake horsepower, and that was front-wheel drive, and that was quite fun to drive as well. So yeah, it's kind of made me. And then later on, I had the Polo GTI as well. But yeah, thank you. So now we get to a point, is like, okay, so back to the whole point of this video. If we was to you're on the market to look for a car, 15,000, just so happens to be a Golf, and between the Mark 6 Golf R, Mark 7 Golf GTI, which one would we go for? And so, shall I start with you, Jude? Yeah. Have you got any thoughts on this?
I think my biggest thought on this is, I think if you want a fully built car, if you buy the right car, if you want it fully maintained properly and just ready to go, Mark 6 Golf R is brilliant. Obviously, if you want a Mark 7, I think that'd be more of a project. If you want to put a bit more money, because you're going to be buying a bit more of a rough example Mark 7, I believe.
It's not too bad. When you have a look at around the 15k region.
Yeah.
Okay, they're not exactly going to be ones with the performance pack.
Yeah.
There'll be maybe not a 7.5, but it will still be a relatively decent example. At around 15k.
Yeah, and with a Mark 7, I think there's so much more potential with the engine. Like, let's say if you wanted to do a little bit more, explore more, there's countless Mark 7 parts on the market. Like, you get. I literally have a list on my notes with all the parts I could possibly buy for this.
And yeah, we all both know there are quite a fair few YouTubers out there that's done some mad stuff with a Mark 7 Golf GTI.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
But yeah, so what would you go for if you had 15k right now then?
The thing is, I've already got the Mark 7, so I think I'd go for after driving this Mark 6 Golf R. I'd definitely put my money into one of these, because as well as that, I think they're rarer as well.
Okay,
I think they're like, you don't see many of these on the road anymore. Especially even Mark 6 GTIs. Like, you don't see the Mark 6 performance kind of hatchbacks a lot on the road.
I think at the time when the Mark 6 Golf R was out, I think I saw this when I was watching Volkswagen. I think it was to do with like the financing options that was around back then. It's not as, you don't have as many options as we do now.
Oh, 100%.
So which is why it was not as easy to buy a car that was starting at that price range at the time, whereas now pretty much almost anyone that passes a credit check can get a Mark 7.5 Golf R or a Mark 8 Golf 100%. R, to be fair, based on the type of financing options there are now.
And it's a credit to basically look on Autotrader and seeing how many of Mark 7s, GTIs and Rs are listed compared to the Mark 6s. I think it's the biggest show of how far leasing and financing has come.
But yeah, did you have fun in the driving around the Golf R?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, really enjoyed it. Making me want to get an exhaust now, so making me want to spend more money. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's a beautiful car you've got there, mate.
So is yours pre-OPF or?
Mine is OPF, unfortunately. My friend Bilal, who's just got a GTI.
I might have to bleep that out because.
Oh yeah, but that's a pre-OPF, so you might be able to hear that one.
Alright, so yeah, appreciate it. But yeah, for me, I think it's just, this is fun. The Mark 7.5 Golf GTI is fun compared to mine is, being four-wheel drive. It's composed. It's predictable. It's easy to handle. But whereas the Mark 7 Golf GTI is fun to drive around, so I do love it. But then when I think about in terms of what I need from a car, and if I'm driving it every day, all year round, then for me it's got to be the Mark 6 Golf R, to be honest, just mainly because it's got the four-wheel drive, and I know I'll be okay driving it all year round. Wet, rain, snow, whatever, I'm okay with that. Whereas, driving it briefly today, and with some of the wet with these tyres, it wasn't great.
You're not going anywhere when it's raining.
So yeah, for me, it's got to be the Golf R. It's not like I don't like your car. I love your car, 100%. To be honest. It's a nice evolution, part of the Golf GTI heritage, honestly.
Yeah,
so
like I said, Golf R's, if anyone says a Golf R is a better car than a GTI, 100%. It's generally a better car because of the all-wheel drive, a little bit more power, 100%. But if you just want a little bit of fun and you're not too bothered about being a traffic light warrior, then the drag racing everyone at every traffic light, then yeah, 100%. The Mark 7 GTI is a little bit more fun, yeah.
Okay, so I just want to, before I wrap up the video, I'm going to throw a curveball because around 15k, you can actually get another example of the Golf, which is also a Mark 6,
I know what this is.
which is also a GTI.
Yeah, and is it
It just so
Edition 35?
It is an Edition 35. There isn't a lot, so if you actually just do this search right now, around the 15k region, relatively okay mileage, you are actually going to probably find less than 5 on Autotrader for Edition 35 Golf GTI. Decent-ish example, not too high on mileage, but yeah, they're just as fun to drive.
I was even considering one at one point. My budget was 15 grand at one point. It increased, unfortunately, but yeah. And I remember just always coming. Edition 35s, they're great cars, and what you get in an Edition 35, the new engine in there, the capability of it as well, and how rare they are. It's a real good package.
I mean, I don't think I've ever really seen them on the road. I just so happened on my way to work the other day, I saw a red one. And I can't remember when the last time I seen one before that experience. So they're really rare to find nowadays.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that'll be a good buy, 100%.
But yeah, that's just my curveball out there. So if you're either, if I made you decide between a Mark 6 Golf R and a Mark 7.5 Golf GTI, just consider the rarity of an Edition 35 Golf GTI. But yeah, that brings us to the end of the video. Thank you very much for coming along and sharing this experience with us all today, Jude.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Really good to be on the channel finally. A long time. I don't have to be in the comments this time. I'm actually in the video.
Les, thank you very much.
Guys, thank you. I appreciate it. 100%.
But let's go. Like next week, I think I'll be doing a bit more to the Mark 6 Golf R, so if you don't miss out on that, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on what's going on with the Mark 6 Golf R. But from me this week, from What the Pun this week, that is all. Thank you very much. See you all next time. Bye bye.
Cheers, appreciate it.